Morning, everyone. Morning, Mr. Seth. Morning, fellow trading Marines. I like that. Started up as 9 as normal. It's not quite there yet. What do you think? Why have I got this up? Simply because, just to remind you, you've got to have the economic calendar. I'll post it a little bit later if I can remember. A few more people have joined. Because 9 o'clock it came out, the CPI is slightly higher than expected. Hence the slight movement there on the pound. Okay, it came out 10.5. No, it didn't. Talking rubbish. It didn't come out exactly as expected. I thought, obviously misread the damn thing. Anyway, so maybe that seems as good news for the pound, because it comes out exactly as expected at the CPI on America just recently, last week, whenever it was. It can confuse people. So they obviously decided the CPI being as expected. Maybe the inflation is slightly high. They expected 10.5. That's high. 10.5%. That's high. We're used to dealing in economies at 1 or 2%. Yeah, that's hectic. So that will pressure the bank, Governor Bailey, his name is, Bank of England, to increase, and therefore the expectations of that, hence a bit of a jump on the pound. Just mention that. So just keep an eye on your economic calendar, and if you've got it, if you haven't, I'll post it later, just to remind me. You dive into the pound just before we get that coming out. Okay, just give it a couple more seconds, then we can start. Microsoft didn't it profit anyway, they like it, yeah. Which no, didn't, not as far as I know. Check it out at the moment, don't need to see it, yeah. Which was it, Microsoft? 240 went up a bit, actually. We got 238, 240 went up a bit. Gold's peaked to 1900. For those that had a pending order, some got in a little bit early. Some got in quite late. I think it was about 19. We got in 7 hours pending order for 900, about 19.05, some of that went out. So it climbed to 1910. Some guys joined it there. That's their choice, but sort of look at the signal first. If you're happy, you look at the signal, and that's your choice. Fair enough. My worry is not that. My worry is people just dive in blindly. So learning to look at it and not just going for it. Morning, Anna Marie. That's past. Okay, right, just a second, yeah. Okay. Right, let's start off with the egg on my face, which means I got that one wrong. It was the AUD USD. Remember, it was about 69.50-ish. I thought might be a bit of downside. I thought that and what happened was, well, clearly that didn't happen. The dollar was fairly stable, and quite frankly, the dollar did strengthen a bit. So obviously, the economy in Australia is booming more than I expected, because the guys who did take it, they were correct. I think actually, I'm not sure we're still in that trade. We might have been kicked out. I don't know. But all intents and purposes, well bloody done those who said either things along. Not many did, but some stayed out of it. But it did go up in the end. Whether it's going to be sustained is another question, but I've got a 15-minute number. I'm not too sure about that. Dollars are going up and down like a bloody yo-yo at the moment. What's it now? Hovering around above 102, popped down to 102.40, popped up to 102.90, popped down again. Now it's all over the place at the moment. Just let this guy's in, beg your pardon. All over the place at the moment. I'm not sure how long it's going to continue. I It sits in the buy zone. That's fairly obvious, technically speaking. But I think that's going to be the wall that's got to break through. It's only 50 odd pips away. So keep an eye on that one. If that doesn't, and the dollar remains above 102.20, 102.30, 40, something like that, I personally think we can get a sell on that one, and this time I'll be right. Okay, so keep an eye on that one. Remind me of it. I'll throw that response into your capable hands to remind me if it gets up another 40, 50 pips or so. Maybe we can look at it, because I don't think that's going to sustain that upward movement. Okay, right. Let's see what to say then. Morning, guys. Say, yeah, CAD JPY and US dollar JPY hit TP. Quite a bit of help, I must admit, from the dovish attitude of the Bank of Japan. They decided they've still got slightly, it's 0.1 minus interest rate. So it's cheaper to borrow money than paying cash. And they continue with it. And as I said before many times, I'm not surprised at that. Remember I mentioned that yesterday. I think that yen's overcooked. They wanted a bit weaker. They've got to export them out of trouble because their ratios, and accordingly that has happened. So with a nice movement to the CAD JPY and the US dollar yen. In fact, the CHF JPY maybe still in it with a bit of TP as well. Yeah, because I thought that yen is just, there's no ways they can get themselves out of trouble that strong yen. That sort of economic analysis actually panned out in the end. Even though it's a fairly basic one, came out there. Yeah, right, we'll move on from that to the dollar rand. Just before I go, I don't know how many of you guys are on here, so I've got to go to my normal spiel. Dollar rand is an exotic, it's not a cross or a major, so it attracts higher costs and a higher, more to the point, margin. So guys, if you've got less than about 3 grand in your account and you've never traded a dollar rand before, be a little bit careful. In other words, you walk before you can run. So I suggest start with the majors first before you go exotic. That's up to you. But bear that in mind. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you don't know about joining it. Okay, having said that, I agree. Simple as that, I agree. I think a little bit of dollar strength could come in. Overall, I think maybe some dollar weakness down the line as they get a little bit more dovish in their approach to get inflation under control. But my problem basically, as we all know, is I'm good for an HCOM. And that is, so even the dollar weakens a bit, I think the rand's pretty weak as well. So I tend to agree with you on that. So yeah, I think 17 seems to the base. So if you like it, go for it. We will not be sending it out because we've got too many clients, shall we say diplomatic, not as knowledgeable as they should be. And they'll go diving in with small accounts, not understanding why they can't go in because they haven't got enough margin, because it's an exotic and the costs are high and all sorts of carry on. So we won't be sending it out, but it's the trading guys who are either learning and understand what I'm talking about or more experienced. Okay, so my tip on this one is don't jump into this if you haven't got much money in your account, as in not much, as in below 3 grand, and you don't know what I'm talking about in margin and exotics, etc. Okay, best go to classes and learn. Too many people are trading without having a clue. Would you do any job without having a clue? No. So yeah. Morning, Mr. Rogers. I can't seem to buy my trade block in my tool. I'm sorry, I don't understand a word of that. I beg your pardon, I don't know. Anybody help me out? I don't know what he's talking about there. I can't seem to buy my trade block in my toolbox. Okay, view your trade block in your toolbox. What's your trade block? I don't know what a trade block is. You can just word it sort of so I understand as I move on to this one. Okay, let's have a look now. We can put a stop. Let's get probably too far down here. Might be actually, yeah, probably can. Yeah, that'll do. Get started, so be it. That'll do. 70.35, 70.3 will do. So this guy's in a second. We'll put a slightly higher TP. Maybe higher. I think back to 18 might not be for a while. I don't know, but I just can't see the way out of this this mix we have over here, simply because, well, there doesn't seem to be any form of cultural change at the top. They're talking a lot, but they don't seem to understand they've got to take some draconian medicine to solve it. They're too scared, or they won't do it, or again, they're speaking all to the rosy fob, but they're not seeing attacking the situation. I think the cultural change, what's called cultural attitude at the top doesn't see any chance of changing. So yeah, I can see unfortunately continue moving around as a result of it, but there you are, 180 bucks a micro. Clearly, even if you had $2 grand, you can't go for it because you can't risk 18%. Is that 18%? No, 9%. $2 grand, yeah. 10, 200, yeah. It's just about 9% of capital available exposed. I suppose you could on $2 grand, but with the costs involved, well, that's up to you. Maybe $2 grand minimum, but just remember it's about $6.50 per micro coming out of your account. So if you haven't got the free margin, you're already in another trade, you won't have the money anyway. That's why I say the guys that are a member of the VIP group is there for a reason to have more money, because they can have the extra trades. We send the trades we get out to everybody in the same amount. They're going to have to pick and choose, and they might pick the wrong one, because you know we don't know which is going to go and which isn't. Try so yeah. Oh, the Market Watch, yeah, the Market Watch. Okay, sorry, you just go to where's the bloody, here we are. Go to View and go to Market Watch. Okay, and once you've done that, it should come up here, and then you just add as normal. It's not really platform trading here, but you should know that when you come in here. That's the Market Watch. Okay. So see if we can get that going. Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah. I know it's difficult when you start, but it helps you start getting some of the jargon right, because otherwise it takes time to try and decipher what the question is. Okay, so the guys are like that to do it. I'll put it down for those who do like it, but just bear in mind what I said. Anyone like this one? I will be sending out some CFDs later. Just bear that in mind as well. Apple, Amazon, and Google, just so you know, probably about 3-ish. Ronan likes it. Well, Brady likes it. You mentioned it, so I'll put it down. And if you don't like it, I'll take that as a personal insult, Brady, because I advise I like it. So I'll be very, very upset about it if you don't like it. There you are. No pressure, my friend. At the worst price. Oh my goodness, it's not funny. What's it now? $16.99, I think. You'll never get the exact right price, by the way, guys, ever. Well, actually, more luck than judgment. But yeah, you've got to take an overall view. Might come off a bit, might go up a bit. That's the way it goes. It's a natural cycle tendency. Once you've gone in, it must go your way. It doesn't always work that way. Cost is high. So I said, guys, the cost is high. So be aware of it. You're going in with your eyes open. That's why you don't send it out. The guys then go in with one eye shut. They don't know about it. They say, nobody told me the margin was much higher. Nobody told me the costs were higher. They don't go and check it out. I'll show you what the costs are. It's quite simple. They don't attend the knowledge areas, you know, but they still want to get the trading. Quite ridiculous, really. Where is it? 19 pips. Hectic. Exotics world over always will track higher costs. It might be now, actually, because after that big jump on the pound, I'm still, you know, I still think that CHF to me is oversold, in my opinion. You know, CHF, JPY, and the end got to target. GBP, CHF. I was just sell on that. Don't think anyone wanted it though. Probably just as well after that jump this morning. But yeah, we got in at, oh God, that's right. We already got a sell on that 112.75. So it's not very pretty at the moment, but I think it's still in it. A couple of days or so ago. Where's it written down? GBP CHF 1380. Did you get there? Yeah, we did get it because I haven't got the stop yet because it's taken a couple of days ago. Okay, so I'm just keeping fingers crossed. It's not looking pretty. And that pound coming out just now didn't help my cause. So if you're still in, fingers crossed on it. But I leave alone otherwise. Oh, I see. Sorry. You mean should you close the trade? I'm very, very reluctant to tell a guy close the trade. If I say close the trade now and it comes off, you're not going to be very happy. So you've got a strategy. 80 is the strategy. Okay. That's your stop. If you want, it's up to you. You might get worse to get stopped out. It popped up a little bit. Look at the 4 hour. So it did pop up, and a few sellers seem to be coming in. Seem to be trying to come in, put it that way. So you might get lucky. If you want to close up to you, I can't advise that. Just saying, right, we've got a strategy. We had the stop loss at 80. It's now at 40. It's still in the trade. So if I say hold it, you get stopped out, you lose more. I'm sorry. If they get out now and it comes off, I'm sorry, I can't make that call. Well, I say I've got a strategy out there, and whether you stick to it or not is entirely up to you. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was simply because it's retained the dovish on that card. So they've still got a slightly tiny minus interest rate, dovish, which, as expected, I think you mentioned this morning on the WhatsApp, will weaken the rand. For me, and it was no surprise there. Rand the brain here, yen. And they're going to try and export out of trouble. They're staying the dovish way. Well, the yield curve slightly negative, they're sticking with it. Okay, right. It's nothing more than that. Done is done. You know enough by anyway, but I'm going to detail again. Okay, CAD JPY profit, US dollar JPY hit profit. We've got a couple other trades down here. Euro CHF on 1 on the dot was a sell. That's a bit of profit there. It's about 50 pips in profit. So anyone take that trade? Obviously, some did. I would have written it down. So anybody who took that trade, don't join it now. I'm talking about modifying the SL. You might want to put your stop loss down to entry to protect yourself and see if it can continue down. Okay, this is the guy for Euro CHF. Okay, you all got that? NGAS, everyone took that. I'll go in a moment. NGAS, anybody took that? I did not. But anyone who did take it, just giving more hassle was worth. That's why I didn't take it. It's still not recovering. Got a stop loss, but that was Farney's trade. Over you there, Farney? Let's have a check. Let's check my list here. Yes, Farney's there. Yeah, you should like it. So got it. Anyway, the stop is 3085. You might bounce. It's got to bounce sometimes. It's got some bloody value, this gas. Something to go down to zero and be free. You know what I mean? But hope for the best. Gold kicked in, like I mentioned, at 1900. Don't chase it now. Give me the yips, like the golfers, eh? You think it's still? I think it's a bit. I still not long. I mean, sell the yen. I'm not sure about buying the yen now. I think maybe wait for the dust to settle and if a bit of a pullback and then sell the yen. The yen's the name of the game. Now I won't be joining it now. There's a reason why we have a risk reward at 1900. You know what I mean? And you won't get a risk reward. But if you did have a buy limit, I know quite a few people did, so saw that. You should have been sucked in at 1900 automatically this morning in fast asleep, and you're in a nice $6 profit. Should you move your stop? That's the bigger question. You have to start taking out 1910. Yeah, you can move it to entry. If you want to reduce your stop a bit, yeah, I tell you what, the dollar can affect it so much. You can funny things happen. I'm still bullish. Maybe reduce your risk. If you did have a stop at the recommended area of 1885, I think you can maybe modify your stop to 1895 for those who entered at the 1900 pending order. If you didn't, that's a different ball game. Remember that. I think you can reduce risk. You still have it, reduce it to 1895, and then at least you reduce it to $5 instead of $15. Not the total amount, I mean price-wise. So you reduce your risk by 2/3. Okay, and if you can get 1910, then you can put it above your entry, and then you got a couple of bucks profit, whatever happens. Okay, just if it does do that, remind me, etc. You can always come back to the session, and of course, next step. Up to you, just remind me like you do, and know what's going on. it's so vital to get people to contribute by being interactive, because a few do, and they're the ones that learn, the others don't, and they come back and say it's not working for me. Well, if you don't, it's not a question like going to get downloaded. You've got to interact, ask questions, and then you'll find it happens. Like look at this progress he's made. Absolutely. Just sit there and look at the screen and the off chance it's going to get downloaded. No, if you're not sure, you've got to ask, and then I can help. And I sound like a teacher, but that's what I'm trying to do now. Okay, so gold seems to be getting right, which is good. Got a fat analyst sending me stuff, spent all this money, saying he expected 1870 downside. I'm rather glad that analyst is wrong. We've got to trade up the other way around. Okay, fine. As long as you agree as well, guys, I think, but you've got to agree. It's not just what I say. This is not 2 and 2 always making 4, as we all know. That's my suggestion. Okay. We'll send out the trades for the CFDs later on today, and then we start the 4 o'clock session. We can go into them quickly and be ready for those who didn't take them at 4:30. Those that already took them or whatever, we can look at 1 or 2 more, because there's quite a few. Again, it bounced on Goldman Sachs for a possibility there, as well as the others mentioned: Microsoft, Apple, Google, Meta, and Amazon. So there's a few to look at. So we'll have a look at them later on. Not now, no, Jacob. Ship sailed. That's why I had a signal at 1900. Unless you disagree. Anybody think you can join gold now with a different stop loss? Maybe a 1995 stop, 1930. You get a risk reward there, but I'm a bit iffy about that. Remember, it's just popped down, not quite, it's just below the day's low. I'll put it up, but I'm a bit iffy on it. See what you think. Give you a risk reward. Before Y90 now, I'll come back to it, but the thing's moving. Does anyone think it's worth chasing now? I have my doubts. Don't have to put in one, but I mean, yeah. Jacob's asking about going in now. Anyone support him on that? Wait for a bed entry. Okay, leave that there. Come back if you want. And 1900, why is that? Because you can see around about the 1900 area there, it came down to a bit of support. Ignore this candle. I'm talking just before that. So ignore that candle completely. Thought retrace, buy the retracement. Gold is bullish. We've got low dollar at the moment and reasonably low yields. So and a lot of fear out there, and the Chinese are buying it up. So gold is, to me, buy the retrace, not sell it down, because it will profit take if you don't know the extent of the downside and the profit taking. You're going against the sort of current, if you like. So that's why I suggested 1900, stop down 1885 down here, and take it back up there. Okay, and it came back in the end. So those guys were patient with the buy limit and took them in, and looking okay at the moment. Don't want to jump the gun saying looking brilliant. With Murphy's Law kick in, it's looking okay. MZD, sorry, I want to say, I'm trying to get in the right direction. I'm trying to agree with you on that, get in the right direction. I mean, if it was there, I would say, bloody marvellous. What do we do there? Hang on. Bloody hell. Looks like a long way. It's only 27 pips away. It was about 100 pips away. Where can we put the stop? 50. Hang on, might get some 80 pips right out there. So we need a minimum 125. Yeah, we could do it actually. Bloody hell. So always check that. Sometimes that distance there is 100 on some of the currencies, some is only about 20. It really surprised me that. You don't have to put it that low. Put the TV up there if you like. It's up to you. Yeah. You want to zoom out some more on the daily? Unless you have a wider stop, that's a better idea. Let's pick that. They've got to stop in the wrong place. Beg your pardon. Beg your pardon. Sorry, I have no wider stop up here. Do beg your pardon. You that didn't look right. Beg your pardon. I want to stop there. Maybe reduce a little bit. Yeah, that's there. That just about there. That's fine. What do you think? I asked him if I like it. What's the modification? It came a bit late. When you modify your stop loss, when you modify your stop loss to protect, it's all about equity management. You enter the trades going the right way. Your risk is 100 Rand. If you modify your stop, never away, that's increasing risk towards entry. Now you reduce your risk to 50. As I say, if you're on the gold, it's 85, mod at 95. You've reduced your risk. It's only $5 per whatever to trade, you know, the micro or whatever it is, yeah. Instead of $15. Very important. You're going about quite a lot. Modify as you can until you get your modified stop loss into. As long as you keep a bit of distance between market price, you've got it modified better than entry, then of course you secured profit on the trade. You get stopped out versus spreading your entry. This stuff you need to know when you're trading. Very important. But it's not more important. It's actually vital. I think sometimes maybe when you do the trading platform training, maybe you've got a lot of details and missing out some of the sort of real bullet points. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, not too bad. Reducing the risk as we speak is not too bad. Now let's look at the 4 hour. Let's look at the weekly. It's okay. 4 hour. Trying to break down as it breaks up. But no, the Kiwi's all right, but the Swiss franc is a bit to me undervalued. Yeah, I quite like this one. Brady. Anyone else agree with Brady himself? For sure, yeah. Okay, it's a short sister. Okay. So let's write this down. And a post head office for them to post out if the KI agrees. It's nice to have a bit of support on that as well. I can't post without that, but I'd like to have a bit of backup support. That's really 0.6035. Ignore the last decimal point. That's a point. You after pips, remember. So one guy said, "Hey, bloody hell, 25 pips or pips is a hell of a spread. You're very expensive." I said, "No, that's points. It's 2.5." Okay. Okay, Dirk. As long as you join us continual basis, that's great. Moment. Okay. So, okay. See how that goes. Just get this out of the way, and then we should add a bit later, see what's going on. All right, go back to the chat line. Morning, Pinkana. Runs in. Okay. Putting that down as my idea, because I'm sick of Brady coming up with all the good ideas. So I'm getting fed up to it, my ego. Now, well done, Brady. I'm only joking, obviously. Morning, Bill. Okay, all right. I'm just getting back to the DXY. Try to keep it open on my other screen to watch it. Still sort of okay. Good. Does it? A little bit of a pivot point there. Pivot point sort of show like a bit of resistance. I suppose you could use that term. A little bit there. Yeah, I hear you, but I did see that in the 4 hours, to be honest. I admit that I did, but I still thought there's more reason to than not to do it. So I'm sticking with it. It's not that powerful. I saw a whole load of highs right across here, sort of thing. I'd be more hesitant on the 4 hour. But so the weekly, yeah, it's trying to look at the 15 minutes, trying to come off. So we might come right there. We got in just now anyway at 45. So, well, it's just a spread, eh? So we got a better price, but that was a spread. So we've got what wrong thing now? There we are. Yeah, I'm just trying to maybe filter my economic calendar. I didn't see that. But anyway, I don't know if anyone took that. I think you did, Gerard. So it looks like I don't know what price you got in, but what have we got written down for the guys who did take it?
Yeah, it's going to be enough. The 2 extra bags, don't you think it's going to be so?
It's going to be enough.
Is it going to be?
Yeah, I've had a mutual as per normal. Just remind me, finally, whoever wants to speak, anybody who's happy to speak, doesn't matter who it is, by the way, interact, just tell me and I'll unmute. Okay. Yep, that was a nice one, eh? A little bit of help from the Japanese Bank of Japan here. JPY did as well, and then we're still left with CHF JPY hit the TP. That's pretty good. The yen, is it still going up? Right, we'll move on from that. Look at the yen. We'll start off with the dollars yen. Seem to be pulling back a bit. Will we get any further pullback? Bit of technical damage on the 4 hour. Will we get any more pullback before it rises again? I'm a bit sort of on the fence on that one, but I take your point in time. It's quite a good idea to look at it, but I'm not sure it's pulled back enough. Let's try the CHF JPY. It's a slightly stronger currency than the Swiss, than the US at the moment. So it's coming back against that on the daily. That's been the problem with the daily. Okay, so on that one, hovering. Right, now on that one, to me, that looks like it's consolidating for a likely further move up. I still back in the Swiss franc. I think it's oversold, and the yen is, as I said before, not that great anymore. So that one I think is more of a possibility than the dollar one. It looks like consolidating. Maybe just wait for confirmation. Okay, let's go back to the daily. Yeah, I think just wait for confirmation to see if this can be broken. There's a bit of resistance there. Makes sense. Good. That's the whole point. It's no good me telling you. It's got to make sense. Excellent. CAD JPY. Yeah, if you're going to sell the yen again, I still my number one choice would be against the VHF. To be honest, it's only a 10-day. I get that, but just I think it's a bit of a pullback. Or it's profit taking. Don't there's any sudden realization the end's pretty strong after all. Anything clever like that, it's just profit taking. Okay. Euro JPY. 4 hour. Seems to be holding there. Possibilities there, but I think just hang 5 for the moment. A little bit of dust settle. AUD JPY. Probably the same story to guess. Yeah, wait for the dust to settle before we try and buy it there, okay? And probably the same with NZD. We'll do just one first. Yeah, that release just now, I wouldn't be looking at the pound JPY either. NZD JPY. Yeah, I think just hold 5 for the moment, okay? You see this, okay, you see on the dollar rand, potential sell technically, and you might be right technically, but I'm not going to buy the rand. I'm telling you right now, not with a horrendous, should we say, BOEs we have here. What do you got? SOEs we have here. Transnet, Denel, SA as was. Obviously, the big one is the energy one, Eskom. They're all in an unbelievable mess. Remember, the problem as well, constitutionally, they can't cut the electricity off from municipalities. They're not paying for it. So you guys who are having to have an increase in electricity of a product you're not receiving is to make up for those guys constantly still receiving electricity without paying for it. I mean, it's absolutely insane. No, I wouldn't be buying the rand. The dollar's got to be monumentally pathetic for me to buy that rand. So yeah, I would not be. You might well be right, and I might end up egging my face, but I'd be a little bit nervous. Even the dollar's come off now to 102.20 from 102.90 earlier on today. The dollar's weakened a bit, which happens. So that's why it's not dollar strength. Sorry, rand strength being in. It's a bit of a dollar pullback, but I'm not sure it's going to pull back. Gets back there. I'd be uncomfortable to short the dollar against the rand, even though the rand's looking a bit on the weak. And my prognosis for the future is a good chance of DXY to come back to 100 and put the neck out there on it, but that might be a while to do that. But I still, my prognosis of the rand is still continue weakening. The faith in the Moody's, you know, the ones that set the junk bonds, what's the name of it again? Anyway, Moody, Fitch, and S&P or whatever. The way it's being run, nothing being done, a lot of talk, no do. They're keeping a strong eye on it. I'd be a little bit careful with buying the yen, the rand at this stage. Yeah. If it's a Zimbabwean dollar, I might sell the Zimbabwean dollar against the rand. That's an exotic, yeah. Maybe we should get that on our platform and do that then. Shame, leave them alone. They're in enough trouble with that. That's taking the mickey out of them. But anyway, those who took it on the long, a little bit of profit. I think a couple of guys took it, and I think they should see a little bit of a profit coming in, or maybe just trying to handle the costs at this stage. Okay, just my opinion. We looked at it for a second there, just going through the yen. The pound strengthened a little bit, but yen weakness for the Fundi and slight pound strength for Fundi. I think maybe let the dust settle. I'm not sure I'll be selling it down for sure, but would it be a bit early to jump in yet? A few buyers are coming, I'll give you your due. A few sellers coming in there. I think leave that alone for the moment, my opinion. Unless you disagree. If you disagree, you know you're learning enough. Put in your views. I'll mute you if you want to chat about it. You might come up with something. Oh my goodness, got a point there. Remember, a couple of guys went along in the AUD USD, and I thought the otherwise, and they were right. So you know, no one's 100%. Okay, you happy with that? Okay, Euro CHF. Just want to absolutely completely not convince, so I can keep confirm you guys. It's all this is a suggestion. Hopefully, both building some experience, but it's still a suggestion. Not too bad. It's getting a bit of a problem here. It's the daily, eh? It's going to break through there. It's getting a bit of a problem now. You should have modified, as mentioned, okay, and you did to entry. Let's just see now if you can break through. Just see if you can break through. If it doesn't, it might be worth banking a profit. Start climbing back up again. Rather bank 30, 40 pips and have done and watch it all wash away and stop you out with no profit. On the daily at 8. 4 hour, consoling a bit. I think that's more for the daily. A lot of people use the other strategy. It's going to break that. Didn't yesterday, so we can do it today. No, it's just overall, the dollar's a bit weak. It'll bounce, but the XY, remember, is also tradable, and it bounces around a bit, etc. But I think it might even have another run up before it comes off. If they get this inflation under control and that the sort of very, very strong expectation now overwhelming, it's 25 to the 50 basis coming up. The next FOMC meeting in February, I forget which day, I think it's 2/3 or 8 of the month, check it in the coming near the date. That is contributing a little bit of weakening of dollar. Inflation gets more control, it could come back to 100. A little bit coming in, but nothing sudden on it. Remember, 11 o'clock, the Eurozone's coming out. So what will come out now? Eurozone, I'll copy and paste it for you guys in case you don't have it. It's coming out CPI. CPI, yeah, CPI is coming out at 11 o'clock on the euro. So that's a good point. Just bear that in mind, guys. 11 o'clock is coming out on the euro CPI, and you might have a sudden move down on the euro CHF or a sudden jump up. Just bear that in mind. There's a calendar. Let's do it quickly for you in the DXY. If you haven't got it, as always, keep an eye on it. Very important. So you know what I'm talking about when we refer to it. Very important. Good. Just bear that in mind. Whatever you do, if you got in at 1, at least protect yourself. If you want to hang on in, because you might get lucky, it screams off. Nothing might have, we don't know. But protect yourself if it goes wrong. But just be careful. Okay. You don't want a butte turn into a baddie. Okay. Yeah, we did gold earlier on a couple of times. We're all in it. Just a question, we should join it now. Well, less reason to join it now than earlier on. Everyone should have been at 1900, like the signal said. Jake come up where we should join it at 1906-7, so he'd hold on. As it turned out, he'd gone in, he'd been up a bit, still starting to go up a bit. So yeah, you're doing fine. Now it's up to 1910. So Keonian kinds, you can modify your stop now to just above entry. Make it 19. If you got in at 1900, as mentioned, you can make it 1901. In fact, make it 1902. There you are, 1902. So you covered your costs. You might get some change left over if you get stopped out and ride a bit further. So you protected your trade. Bottom line. I'm not allowed to use the word guarantee because you're not guaranteed it. If a bomb goes off or a bomb might, if something brilliant happens in the world, suddenly a revelation happens. Oh, everything's safe. Gold might go right through. You get slippage, but the likelihood is you protected yourself if you get it to 1902. Okay, so I suggest you do that, guys. Okay. Well, it's a nice profit. It's got 1900, lovely profit. GBP CHF. Trying to come off. Come on, you bugger, come on. Everyone's watching the tennis, by the way. It's come off nice. It's dropped below 1.3 again. Yippee! Let's watch the tennis. See Nadal's out, having a lot of injury problems. I think he's coming to certainly strength of character and minds keep him going. I think the fitness levels are starting to fall off a bit. So if anyone watches the tennis, he's out. So let's see if old Novak's going to do the business. Yeah. Anyway, moving along. Good. So there you are. Now you protect yourself, Keonian companies. That's nice. And this is good as well. You can maintain it. Keep below that 1.13 and we might start getting a block out. Now, I think, who was it now, early one, Dealey or somebody asked, should I take it? No, remember, I can't get that comment. You've still got your strategy and it looks like it was wise to hold. So far, anyway, don't get too cute. It's still on a daily, seems to be very much trading a very tight range. He's come with one of that range. It's got to continue down. Let's see if it happens. And remember, if Swiss franc, if it continues to strengthen, pushes it down, and the pound has strengthened a little bit, it could be good for our NZD short. Okay, well, let's keep the fingers crossed on that. I want to get over last week's disastrous week and see we get onto a good side again. I want the new guys, I think, after last week, we're not all complete idiots. Just some of us. That's a good one, Didi. I think actually it was you asked the question, yeah. So there you are. You held on just as well. I take you did hold on. Get below and hold. Get down. Stop going trying to break back up again. I'm worried about this sort of should be about 50 pip bloody range and just break down. Okay, right. AUD USD. I think there's a chance now that it's getting overcooked. I got that wrong last time. Some in it might still be in it. The AUD is a tooth went to last week, I think. Some guys might still be in it on a short. Guys are in it on a long. Be a little bit careful now. Modify your stop losses for all. Protect yourself. I think it's getting in the stage a bit overcooked. It might get up to 80, 70, 80, but I think that's going to hold. I think it might come down a bit. Not so much the dollar's going to shoot the lights out. I think Aussie's overdoing it a bit more, but leave it alone, keep it out. Okay, right, we'll do shares later on today on 4 o'clock. We're going to have a few out, so we'll leave that till then. No point going to them right now. I think a couple of them did okay. One was Microsoft slightly higher. So those who didn't get Microsoft will get a better price. Yeah, so there we are. Okay. Right. For some people use the weekly for the initial strategy, some daily, which I do, and some 4 hour. Don't use the 1 hour or the monthly or the 15 minutes. Well, you can use a monthly if you like. That's very long term. Any below that with costs, you're wasting your time. But I prefer daily for shares, but I do everything on the daily. But if you're going to do 4 hour, you can do it for maybe the NAS or the indices rather than the currencies, and maybe the shares for a day. But you can, but nothing short of 4 hour for strategy. Once you've looked at the 4 hour, if you're doing it on that, put your stop, etc. Then you look at the daily and the 1 hour, etc. to see if you get any particular confirmation or movement in your direction. Okay, I'm still, let's see, I'm still one for sell the rallies, so I'm selling it on the US ones. I'll be selling them on the European and UK ones as well. And I'm not changing my mind on it. Let's go to the weekly. Let's crunch it a bit. Let's get this out of the way. Looks like a long on this one, doesn't it? It's interesting. I'm very nervous these levels. I think with a little bit of strength in interest rate might have a negative effect on the UK shares because the high inflation they've got there. It's going to put a lot of pressure on it. I think that's overcooked. It's consolidating on the daily. Let's see a bit clearer. You can see it's battling to break through there. It might do. I think rather wait for confirmation, Coyote, before selling it. And I'd be very, very brave to buy it. Look at yesterday's indecision candle. Tried to break up, couldn't. Although the buyers are still coming in. I think rather wait it, see if it breaks out to buy it, which I'd be surprised. It might happen, be surprised. But I think it's probably maybe get a bit of downside here. But I think just hang fire for a moment. Plenty of downside to get a decent reward. So don't have to get impatient and greedy and cute. So we'll see how it goes. It could be a little bit of a trip on something. If this dollar can come off even more, we might still get a bit of a surge in the seas. We just have to watch the DXY going along. Still above 102. It's regained it and above it. So if you can stay above 102, we could get a pullback. So far, so good. Good. Just keep an eye throughout the day. But don't do it now. Okay, good enough. There you go, it's doing right, man. Look at gold, it's doing nice, yeah. I think you can move your stop up a bit more. What do you think, guys? With the dollar weakening a bit, let's look at the yields. Give me a second. Put the yields on for you. Then he hasn't got that. Just a second. Those are the yields on the 10-year note. Right, the dollar index has come off a little bit in the last hour or so, and a little bit since this morning on the yields. Still going up, but it could start getting into a little bit of a trouble. So I'd suggest maybe modifying again to prepare. Don't want to get it too close. It's doing quite nicely. Should make it 07. That's $6 away. I think 1907. So now you're going to make a profit, whatever happens. If something completely ridiculous goes wrong. Anybody got in 1900 on the buy limit as a signal advised, not if you got in at 1908, clearly not. If you got in at 1900 the signal advised, then suggest you modify your stop to 1907. It's pretty nice at the moment. And we'll look at it again later on, and then you'll make a profit whatever happens. You might soon get up to 1910. In fact, I'll tell you what, my friends, make it 1910. It's gone from 15. Make it 1910, guys. Sort of bug you around it. But if I bug you around and make more money, I think you'd be happy. Make it 1910. Then you've got $10 per unit or whatever you want to call it, profits, whatever size it you got in there. So $10 in your favor, whatever happens. So that's going to be nice. So that's a winning trade for you and a nice one. Whatever happens, and see if we can squeeze some more. I wouldn't get that close if I hadn't seen the dollar coming off of it. The dollar's rising. I just said maybe 1905, so we can maybe get target online. So yeah, for those reasons, 1910, and in case it suddenly pulls back and you make a nice profit, if it continues, you make a nicer one. So keep an eye and come back to it. Hope you're all happy with that. And those who joined in a bit late will be happy and recovering now as well. Good. Okay. That's all I can think of at the moment. A couple of mentions to look at today earlier on. I wrote down somewhere. Tesla's something else I want to look at later on. I'm not sure it's going to continue its upward movement. We'll have a look at what's like on opening, but I think that might start getting exhaustion. We'll look at that. Netflix thing's a bit overcooked. It's doing a little bit better now than expected, actually. I think in the overcooked stage, you might get some downside there, even if it's in the buy zone. And AUD CAD, one of the guys in the room this morning before our own room, decided that's what he would like to do as a buy. I'm not saying anything on that. I'd like to have your viewpoint before I mention what I think. A buy on that one. F-stop, that's okay. We already got that out anyway. We'll look at it later on anyway. It's not open. We'll go with that. It's just slightly better. Right, AUD-CAD. No, we haven't. We'll look in a moment. Sorry. AUD-CAD. One of our guys this morning looked at it as a buy. I'm going to see what you guys think. And after I'll see what I think. Platinum, the margin, just before we go to AUD, if you think about replying on that, I'll unmute in case you want to chat to me on it. Helps if you can verbalize it, much easier. Platinum's a very good reason why I don't often do it. And I'll show you what it is. It's to change. I've done it for a while. Click, right click, specifications. Look at that margin, 24%. Sorry, that's 0.24%, which that's a 501 account. On the one-to-one account, I don't know what it is. It's probably about 15% or something. Very high margin, very small leverage. Unless you've got a whacking great big account, you're going to use a lot of your margin up to get into the trade, which means reducing free margin on other trades. And let's have a look as well at the actual movement of it. Hasn't been too bad. It has been quite slow in the past, but it's not really much slow now. I think it could mean maybe some upside, but not enough to buy. And my major problem is that damn margin's very high. So guys, do you want to try all your margin up? And there's better fish to fry elsewhere. So for the moment, leave platinum alone, in my opinion. Anyway, AUD, just go back to that, a couple of comments. Oh, sorry. AUD, CAD. For you, says that? Yeah, oh, there you are there, Kieran. Point taken. You see, as long as you got my point, that's it. Margin's too high. Right, where are we? AUD, CAD. Yeah. Technically, I suppose, isn't the buy zone on the weekly? I'm just thinking the Canadian, I think, is just a bit oversold, and I think the AUD is a bit overbought. So I said to the person there this morning, I hear you, I take your points to the buy zone, but, and actually this is where the stop loss was, and that's where the TP was. So I take your point entirely, but I'm not going for it. I'm wary because quite simply, I think Can't say it's too high, I suppose, either, to be honest. But I think it's too high. Yeah, can't really say that, but I'm going to say it. I think it's a bit high. I think the AUD could get a bit of a pullback in the CAD. If it was the AUD rand, I'd probably say, yeah, technically speaking, I'd say, yeah, buy it. But in the Canadian, I think I'm gonna. I decided I'd put my hand up and sit on the fence on that one. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Knowledge. Okay, Eurozar. You look at the Eurozar. Remember I said about the dollar ZAR? Let's look at the Eurozar. Let's look at specifications. Right click. Why is that? That is strange. Not too bad. 10 pips, 9.5. Call it 10 pips. It's half the bloody. Very surprised at that. Am I looking at the right one? Well, I'm not. Sorry, looking at the wrong one. Oh, that's better. Say, why is yours so cheap? No, that's my problem. There, you see that problem there? 19 pips. That's your cost, this spread. So if you like the Eurozar, you've been trading for a while, you really know what you're doing on it, and you can afford the high margins, you can afford the high costs because you really know what you're doing, it's worth yourself doing it. And remember, less liquid, Eurozar, far less liquid than and the dollars are, and that saves something. Because it's not that liquid compared to the others by far. It's not liquid like the maiden, the crosses. Unless you're an expert, you're not sure you are on that one. Better fish to fry. So you've got so much else better to choose from. Why pay extra costs? Can if you like. I promise you, on behalf of the bros, I'll send you a Christmas card to say thank you very much. I think, yeah, in the buy zone run, but I think that could come off. But I ain't going to sell it now because there's no confirmation technically to sell it. And the technicals, remember, it's all about the buyers and sellers. So you preempted to sell it now, but I think it's probably going to be some downside. So leave it for now. If you're in, you get a bit more to enter now. Ooh. You might be a marine guy. I'm afraid I'm a hen-pecked chicken. My kids pick on me. My wife picks on me. I go ballet dancing and I don't follow rugby, and I drink soft drinks and I don't touch beer. No, I'm not a trading marine, so I'm a little bit scared of that. But you might have a point. Nothing wrong with ballet dancing. You're very fit for it. It's a bad example. That. Yeah, I think you're pushing your luck a bit there. I know. I'm 15 minutes looking at momentum clearly in your face. I think you're pushing your luck a bit there. And the dollars come off a bit, as you can see. If you look at the DXY, the 1 hour, see it's come off a bit. I personally am not too keen. Other guys like it. I put the risk to all that, put it down as a Brady trade, but I'm gonna wait on that one. I think we'll let some dust settle after the announcement came out this morning. Okay. If you want to come back to it, let me know. That's my click with somebody else at ADCHF. Don't miss that person out. Yeah, starting to look good. I looked at it earlier on this morning. Wanted to see if we can get some confirmation. Looks like it's trying to break through the 15 again. Trying to break through the 1 hour, trying to break through 4 hour. Bit of support here. Actually, in this case, resist, you want to go short, bit of resistance there. I think a bit more confirmation. There's a possibility on that one. Any problems, you might have to take that as your TP, might be close to do that. This is looking to be setting up. Aussie is a little bit strong with the open borders now, with Hong Kong and China, etc. Remember, what's the amount now? I think it's Hong Kong and China, not Hong Kong, sorry, China, entire China, including Hong Kong and America, I think make up nearly 50% of the world's economy, to get an idea. It's China's big. Cliff said not so long ago as a communist nation, just shows it. So yeah, I think we wait for confirmation, but I've got my eye on this one as well, for a possibility. As a downside, I mean. But Unless you can talk me into it, I'm a bit hesitant to go in now, but I do see downside. I'm with confirmation. Looks like they're going to send the NZD US NZD CHF one out. 59.48. What's it now? Yeah, it's coming off. So they're sending that out. I don't know, it's been sent out. Obviously on the trade room. Has anyone received that in the mailbox? If you haven't, and everyone's got 2.5 grand and has received it, anyone less than that hasn't, I mean, it's obviously been sent out to the VIP group. I don't know which one it has been sent to. But just let me know if you received it and what your account is. It below or above? Don't give me the exact number. Just don't know how it is. AUDCHF 1 hour. Yeah, it's breaking through. I totally see that. You received it. Good find. Anybody with less than 2.5 grand receive the NZD-CHF? Just let me know if you have not. That means it's been only posted to my VIP group. There's a VIP group, yeah. The VIP group, to be a member, you've got to be a male. No women allowed. Okay, so if you're a female, you can't join. It's only for the men. Do you get that, ladies? Sorry about that, but it's just the way it is. Yeah. No, you've got to have 2.5 grand or more to join. That's obviously, I'm just kidding. We get so many jokes about a lot of stuff on YouTube about America. The lowest form of animal in America now is a white male. And so I'm starting to start sticking up for him. If you're anything but white as a male, you're all right. And if you're a female, you're white, you're all right. If you're a white male, you're history. So I'm going to stick up for him. Right. MLO. I should call it WMLO, White Male Liberation Organization. Yeah. But such a rich nation would be quite daft at times, can't they? Okay, so nobody got it. If you got more than 2.5 VO, you'd be on. You should be on. I think I put you on there. If you got less than 2.5, you won't get as many signals. Simple as that. No, not because we're against you. You all deal with it. So if you do put in 3 or 4 signals, a guy's got 1 grand. He's going to call us up, taking our time out, and say, "I can't put all the signal I've got for money. Which one should I choose?" Well, I can't tell you which one to choose. If I put out 3, I don't think I'm putting out 1 that's good. The rest are rubbish. You know what I mean? 1 second. Post a signal to a person who's been a long time, haven't drawn money out, just coming back in again for old time's sake. Normally don't, but I'm going to look after it because I like it. Seem to be going down to all class. Should have read the thing properly. Yeah. Well, it's a slight change over here, just so you know. You get the daily updates posted by me on the WhatsApp. The signals are now sent out by the office. I've obviously got to approve them because I've got the life to do it. And then one of the managers in the office, as in the office, you won't know who he is anyway. One of the managers in the office then will put it together and send it out to the guys who've got 2.5 grand or more, and the guys who have less, some will go out. You get the idea. So for 3 going out, they might send 1 to everybody and the other 2 to the member. So you got 2.5, you'll automatically now be on it. Okay, just need to remind me so you get the daily updates. So if you've got 2.5 and you're not on my group, you will be as regards signals, but you won't get the daily updates unless you tell me, and I'll just put you on. I hope you're all clear on that. So I've got quite a fancy new WhatsApp system, which the company's paying good money for. So we're getting more people, got some not to fall out the net just because I didn't know they were there, or I hadn't called them, or they hadn't called me, or we didn't know, basically. So it's just better for everyone involved. Hope you all got the concept of that. Two things from our point of view: obviously, I want to put more money into it properly, but from your point of view, to do it properly, you need more capital, like any capital, and then you will get more signals. Simple as that. And we're not picking on you by small amount, just won't you have the money to buy them. Like giving you a choice of 3 fantastic products, but one is likely not to turn out well. You've got to pick one because you can't afford all 3. You might buy shit by luck, picking the wrong one. Right, now, Pete, now that's an excellent point. Because it comes from me, and when we pull it out here, absolutely, this is very important. We pull it out here, and I get a bit of feedback from you guys, and I posted the head office and said, the guys in the TR like it. So I'm using you as well as using me for your backup, moral support. They like it. I've got some guys there like Pete and Farney and Gerard and Brady, guys who know what they're doing. And then they will then put it together. They've got all the risks in it. So you've got to put the thing together and then send it out. So you're getting it fresh off the press if you join the trading room. That's it. So as a result of that, I'm thinking of putting forward to office, we should start charging for the trading room because we get so many advantages. Do you think that's a good idea, guys? What do you reckon? Hey? And that money obviously will come to me because my yacht in the Bahamas needs some repairs and it's costing me a lot of money. So do you think that's a good idea, guys? No, Gary, I was asking a proper question now, so we love talking rubbish. Sorry about that, Gary. Let's get back to business. ADCHF, what confirmation? I'm getting it now. See, I don't like that. Where's confirmation? I think, yeah, if it, good point. It's so close, confirmation 5 pips below, 5 pips is nothing. Book below and go back up again, and all you've done is sold at a lower price, you sell a higher price. Oh, bloody good. I hate these good questions. Hate them, help me. All right, these moving averages apply on all charts. There we are. 15-minute, a break below, it starts breaking below 50-day moving average. That's a bit of a confirmation. However, having said that, look at it, goes up tail, goes up sellers, goes up stuff. You get the idea. No, go for it. Arab, you're right. I like it. Go for it. Thank you for that. Remember, it's my English sense of humor. I tend to tease the guys I like. You know what I mean? It's just, I think you do over here, everywhere. Certainly you're Aussie. The more they take the mickey out of you and the banks, the more they like you. All right. What sort of a stop loss is that? Too tight? Yeah, maybe make it. Should we do a wider stop? It hasn't been there since September. That's literally 4 months ago. So rather go for a wider stop. So we can get the TP there. And then the TP, hang on, we're not going to get TP. Third have the TP there. So let's get the stop down. You tell me, would you want a wider stop with a wider TP or a slightly better stop? And then, still won't get it. No, you'll have to take it down here. We'll try to start with 62.30 and we can play around. Give me a second. It's a bit wide. And if you keep modifying your stop, it won't matter anyway. Start the stop there and the TP there. 63.30, 63.30. No, that's not going to work. So you're going to have to put a wider stop, a wider TP. That will work here. Okay. Right, we can do that or a wider TP and a wider stop. What would you prefer? Yeah, I'm sorry, because you missed the new rules of the trading room. Anyone who is late to the trading room, unfortunately, has got to pay a fine to all the trades in the trading room. And it's a hectic fine. So prepare yourself if you're sitting down and you hear the amount of it. It's hectic. Welcome. Good to have you, Tembi. I'm only joking. Like I say, I always bank the people I like. And you've been a great contributor. I'm obviously teasing. No problem at all. Good to have you. That's the main thing. Okay. So what did Solly say? What's that? Too much rubbish. Okay. All right. Like it. Fact it, promotion, turn it from over one. Buy the TP and modify it. Silly bugger, Roger. Totally agree. Excellent. Excellent. Good point. Because let's be honest, sometimes they hit the TP with let's be honest, with a bit of help from the fundies, but often they don't. So you still make a profit, and you wouldn't have gone in with it. The stock was too wide at the stage. Well, not too wide. It was you know, you would have lost out on it because the TP is too wide, I should say. I think that's a much more intelligent point. Only thing is there now, it prohibits some people with tiny accounts to go in because it's 190 bucks. So that's on 1,000 rand, that's 19%. It's a bit hectic. So you need about 2 grand your account minimum to be able to go from the wider one. Just bear that in mind. But I'm trying to encourage guys to put money into their account, not because I want to give quick training when it's not even there. It's your money and you're bank it out anyway. It's so you can do the job properly. You're always going to be undercapitalized. It's like buying a 50-year-old car because it's 2 grand. You know, it's always breaking down. It's not reliable. It's a hassle. So you need capital to do it. This is important. And once you get the confidence and the knowledge of trading, you'll get the confidence. Because a lot of guys put in small, they're not confident. The idea you're confident to get that money in. I don't mind even small accounts, just saying, but do not expect much from it. Too many guys are putting in squat and expecting miracles. And going in too big to try and make up. And of course, trying to attain unrealistic targets and overexposing and to come back and bite him. Maybe these poor guys at least can afford to do that as well. So there we are. Do you like it? NZD's coming off. So you're quite right on that, pointing out that's a very good point. The guys that come to TR on time to beat me quick. I'm only joking. Would have got that out at a better price. So some guys might have had to put a sell limit in or something, or chase at a lower price. But it's coming off nicely. It's already about 15, 16 in profit, grips in profit. Gold stopped out, it's come back. I thought it might. That's why I kept moving it up, Mike. I thought the dollar coming off, yields coming off, that run, that didn't was going to be sustained. So hope you modified your stop okay to protect. So you should have banked that as a profit. Good. Okay, so we're happy with this one. Was it Gerard's idea, this? Well, wait, yeah, I'll put it down for Gerard. I might not speak the language. At least I don't say it like the Poms do, eh? Gerhard. Hey? God, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? I told you that story years ago. This guy is in Springbok, actually. He owns Springbok Motel. And I called him Mr. Van der Berg. He says, Roger, you'll either call me Van der Beek or you call me Mr. Mac Mountain. Well, translate in English, it sounds completely ridiculous. And I thought, what a brilliant way to put it. Pronounce it properly, mate. A couple of guys like it, so I'll put it down anyway. Probably send out the group. This is the previous one, send out to everybody. So we'll do this one then. He's on the daily, yeah. Save picture. Just so where is he? Yeah. Right, so I'd send it out, so I'll just knock that off. Where were we? Yeah, not thanks. Okay, but write it down. Write down the single prices. 64.30. 65.33 or 0.628. Okay, there we go. So anyway, put it up. If it's been sent out, it'll be to the group. It won't be to the non-group. It'll be a VIP group, what do you like to call it? Okay. Right. EuroCHF also broke. Is it, oh, hey, what's it saying? Yeah. EuroCHF. Hey, it's breaking through, hey. Gerard, sure, I don't like you, mate. Feeling to like you. That's what I want to hear. News that is good. I'm like a dictator. I don't want to hear my generals telling me bad news. I want to help just tell me good news, even if it's not true. But in this case, it is. Okay, that's coming off nicely. So we got the stop now at entry at 0.1, which is 75 odd pips away. Clearly, we can modify again. I think we can modify to 60. There you are, 0.9960. So if you're in that trade and you get stopped out, you should make 40 pip profit, which is okay. Where's the TP? Where are we on all this bits of paper got flying around? 98.25. Another 100 pips to go for that. Let's see if we can get there. It's a bit of a way to go. But as I think Solly pointed out, you can modify in the meantime. If you didn't get the TP and you made 100 pips, I don't think you're going to shoot me. You know what I mean? Just a little thing said before, so again, make sure if you do a trade, make sure that even after trade, you've got enough free margin for the noise. You've got all your money on the market because your lack of funds, any slight movement against, you get margin call because you haven't got enough money in your account to maintain the ups and downs of the trade. Your biggest open trade will be closed, and that might be the one that least you want closed. So just bear that in mind. Again, it goes back to capital, like every capital. In the capitalist system, yeah. Okay, so we've all got that, can knock it off out of the way. That's good points from the maths. Good point. So fundies first. 11 o'clock, not yet. Don't forget the European one. Just keep, yeah, move that stop down to Euro CHF, like I mentioned. And then you're in a profit, whatever happens. If that Euro could send the thing kabong, you know what I mean? If it comes out very inflationary, Euro could strengthen. That's a very good point. Right. Later on today, after the Euro, we've got retail sales. The PPI is important. Not as much as CPI, but is important. And that's coming out 3:30. And the core and the normal retail sales are coming out at 3:30. So that will, all of them will point to inflationary or lack of. So we'll have some effect. You just have to see what effect is going to like here. So remember that. You've all got the funding, the economic fundies, you've all got that, so keep an eye on it, have it minimized, so you keep an eye on it. But it will have an effect, yeah. Right, we've got S&P. Well, this was NASDAQ first. It held at the support there, or, yeah, support there, 11.6-ish. It's a bit iffy at the moment. Let's put 15, see what's going on here. It held there, you can see 11.6-ish. Held, it's trying to come down a bit. I'm looking back at the dollar here. Dollar's at the moment holding up 102. And yields starting to rise a bit, so you might see what happens. You could get a bit more pullback on that. S&P is hovering, I think, about breaking even. Yeah, we got an S&P trade out. It's about even steam for the moment. So just have to see how it pans out in the day. But you do have those two tools of it, well, three tools: the Fundy, the DXY, and the yields, just to keep an eye on as well. That's the thing I said with the gold. It was coming off. So I thought the gold might pull back rather than protect. It might pull back and shoot bang upwards if you move to stop. How far did it go back? 15 minutes? Yeah, probably just stopped you out there, 1910. You should have been in. You didn't quite get 1910 there. But anyway, whatever, it stopped out. But it has pulled back. So there we are. At least you made a nice profit. If you're still in, you had a wider stop where it might go up, but I'm giving you a bit nervous now because of those weakening the dollar. Okay. PPI is not quite, we can look at it if you want, but it's not quite as volatile as the CPI or the non-farms. But certainly do the same strategy if you want, yeah. You know how to do it, don't you? Buy stop above. If you do, you know how to do it, you know, if you're doing the euro dollar, say 20 pips above and below. If you're doing the S&P, say 25 pips above and below, and the NASDAQ or the Dow 30 pips. If you can't place orders, you might not have ticked the disclaimer. Every time you go into your laptop, you should have a disclaimer comes up on your screen. You've got to tick it and then okay it, and then you should come up. So go out of your your app, go back in, tick the disclaimer. It's still got a problem. Go to the live chat tech support, they'll help you. And the Clinton's on there on the trade support as well, and he's very technically minded. I thought not him, to be honest. And one of them will help you out. Okay, let's try that one first. You might not tick the disclaimer. Just have to do that by law to tell you you're in a high risk situation here.
That enough? You have another.
You can just give me one.
Okay.
I'm going to knock you off there just in case, like the guy. So, yeah. Only a few minutes left to go. Go smooth your. Yeah, I lost my thread now. What was it? Anyway, that trade's been sent out, but it won't be. I think it's just been sent out. I'm just checking out to my group, the VIP group. I think so. I suggest just to my group. We don't want the smaller guys getting bombarded with something they can't handle. So the guys should receive it now, anytime at this moment, on the VIP group, but the guys below won't. But the guys that trade can do what they like. But you got one round of 1 million. You know what I mean? It's up to you. Just saying how it works, how the system works. So yeah, so there you are, Warren. Oh yeah, that's right. It's good to talk about that. Yeah, remember in America and the UK, I presume in Europe as well, before you're allowed to do derivatives, leverage instruments, you got to take a small test to make sure you fully understand it. Because we don't want guys who don't understand the leverage instruments. All right, to hear about the pros, we need to know the cons. Don't forget, shares movement up to 4. We'll know that, not before. Don't call me up and say, I can't modify my stop on Google. Well, you won't, because it's not open. Okay, right. Right, just recap on a couple of things here. I'll go back to yen again. Do you still sit on the fence a bit? I'm still sitting on the fence. So we'll look at the trades now. NZD CHF. God, that NGAS still coming off. Ooh, fine, you must be crying. A little bit, get a little bit to come off, and it's in profit. That's the main thing. AUD has gone in, so can't talk about that too much. We'll look at it anyway. Yeah, scratching in profit. Scratching profit. Don't forget the Euro CHF in 10 minutes' time. The Euro's coming out, so we'll just hang on the trading for that, see what happens there. So just be careful of that one. Make sure you modify your stop. I'm suggesting to maybe even 50 or 60, something like that, so you make a profit just in case it goes haywire. But I want you to be in case it goes in your favor and it comes off. Well, nothing happens. I don't know. The GS we'll discuss later on. Yeah. Just bounced enough, Keone, to look like we've got a possible trade on that. So we're definitely looking at that on opening. I think what we should do is kick that NGAS into touch. Eh? Probably goes screaming up now, I said that. But yeah, we're looking at a GS. I've got it written down. We'll definitely do that on 4 o'clock. Yeah. Okay. Any things you're not sure of? I told you about specifications. Chart, just remember, if you like your chart, or let's say you don't like your chart and you want to change it, right click, properties, change it to what you like. There you change it to different colors or whatever you want. Foreground can be changed around the background, like a black background, then do a white foreground, however you want it way around. Put that stuff in there you're comfortable with. Check it out here, it looks okay, and you give it okay. And then you can save it by going to template and save it. If you like it the way it is already, save your template. I don't want guys who haven't saved the template, lose the charts and don't know what to do, and then they're snooping. So all you do then, you save your template, put the name in if you like, George Blogs or whatever your name is, save it. So if you do get a problem, you go right click, templates, George Blogs, click on it, and away you go. But this can happen. Sorry, wrong one. Suddenly press the wrong button, happens to be just by mistake, happens. Now what you do? Well, simply save it. So what you do is go to templates and you go to the one you like, got a load in there as many as you like this one, and you're back in business. Okay, so everyone must do that before they go. I'm just going to hang 5 for 11 to see how the euro does. Yeah, so don't forget that's important. You've all got the, you know, the fundamentals and the rest of it that copied and posted them. You've got anything else that you're not sure of? You know what the moving averages are? Anything you're not sure of? We can last few minutes just have a bit of a Q&A if you like. Etienne knows the score, Anne-Marie knows the score. See some familiar names, know the score. Finally, Karen obviously does. Ulan, you're fairly new. Any questions you'd like to ask? Okay, Lorenzo, no problem. Keep an eye, you know the score, Lorenzo does, I know Mike does. I'm just going to do a little few last few minutes, wait for the euro, discuss the Q&A. Unless you've got a great trading last minute trading idea, it'll be a bit quiet, just so you know. But Sam, I think, is fairly new. Sephora knows the score. Stupendili knows the score. Sipo, I'm not sure. Solid knows the score. A few guys know what's going on here. But anyone who's fairly new, not many left to the most guys know. Any questions? Okay, catch you later, Mike. Thank you, Chair, knowledge chair. Any take on Brent? No. Last a look, no. What do I mean by no? I can't say for certain, but I'm pretty sure if this starts going above 90, they're going to start opening up the taps. Simple as that. They've got enough problems, the recession worldwide, debt worldwide, the problems worldwide, or adding energy costs to the problem. So I think they'll open up the taps. So if you're going to go long and it goes to 90, you're looking at about $4. And I like $4 stocks with the noise on this. So you can't get a risk reward. If you want to go short, you can definitely get a risk reward. No problem there, because you can get a TP down here somewhere. No problem at short. But why would you go short right now? What's telling you it's going to come off right now? So that's why my take on trade is LIA, leave alone. 11 o'clock chart. Just check again. Now you got me giving the doubts now. Pretty sure it's 11. I'll just check no harm. 11 o'clock it is. Yeah. Oh, yo. I'm Gerard. Bloody hell. Still gonna do without you. I'm so sorry, guys. It's 12 o'clock. Beg your pardon. I need to go and change my specs. Sorry, it's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Just remember that. Some guys are leaving. I wonder what's happened to Euro. Oh, damn. It's 12 o'clock. I do really want. But then it's up to you. Like I've done here. Didn't get too cute there. Thanks for checking. Check again and make sure that's okay. It's 12 o'clock. Thanks very much. So another hour to wait. Well, I might as well wrap it up. There's no other questions. The guys in there know the score. They're all leaving now. If you've got any questions you can't think of now, keep them written down to join me at 4 and I'll ask. Try to at least. Okay, see you at 4, guys. 12 o'clock, not 11, beg your pardon. Keep an eye on the American ones later on as well. Don't forget. Well, it's 6 of the best. Cheers, guys. Cheers.